Hi there, and welcome back to Skyskill of Introduction to HTML course. In this lesson, I will show you how you can build a simple survey form with HTML. I'll create a heading element with a content that says survey form, and below that, I'll create another heading element with a content that says thank you for taking your time to help us improve the platform. Below our heading element, I'll create a form element. In between the form element, I'll create a couple of form controls. The first one will be our label element with a content that says name. Below that, we'll create an input element with a type of text and a name of name. So I am going to do the same thing for our email input. So I'll create an input with a type of email and it will come with the name of email. So right below this email input, I would create an input that would take in age. The age input is going to have an input element with a type of text and a name that says age. Below that, we're going to create a heading. This time the heading will be an h4. And the heading element will have a content in between that says, will you recommend? Below the heading element, we'll create an input element with a type of radio, and it will come with a value attribute that says yes. So I'm going to create a label for that radio input. And I will do the same for the radio button with a value of no. Below this label element, I'll create a heading element which should be an h4. And in between, I will type a content that says, what would you like to see improved? Right below this heading element, I'll create an input element with a type of checkbox. This input element is going to come with a name and a value attribute of both front-end projects. And below the input element, I will create a label, and in between that label, I will type a content that says front-end project. So I'm going to do the same thing for back-end project, data visualization, open source community, and so on. So for backend project, I'll create an input element with a type of checkbox with a name that says backend, and it will come with a value that says backend project. And right below that, we're going to have a label that says backend projects. Below that, I'll create another checkbox input for data visualization. I'll give it the type of checkbox again. I'll give it the name of data visualization. And I'll also give it a value of data visualization. Then below that, I will create a label that will have some content, data visualization. I'm also going to create the same checkbox input for open source community. I'll create a label element that has a content in between that says open source community. I'll create the same checkbox element for guitar help room, and also a label where I will type guitar help room in between. After that, I'm going to create another checkbox input with a type of checkbox and with a value that says videos. So once all the checkbox input has been created, I'm going to set up a heading element, and right in between it, I'll type a content that says any comment or suggestion. Right below that heading element, I will create a text area that will have an attribute of rows and columns. I'm going to give the text area 10 rows and I'm going to give it 30 columns. And below the text area element, I'm going to create the submit button element. I'm going to create my input element. I give it a type of button and I give it a value of submit. So when I save my code and click on go live, you can now see the result of everything that we have coded so far. Next, I'm going to add some styles that will change the appearance of the form. First, I'm going to style this body element and give it a background of slate blue and the color of white. Next, I'm going to increase the size of this heading element. So I'll give this one a font size of 40 pixels. And I'll give this other one a font size of 20 pixels. Moving on, I will add a breaking tag to this input element. The purpose of this breaking tag is to stack this element one on top of the other. Next, I'm going to add a couple of breaking tags to this checkbox element. I will add to the front-end project and I will add to the back-end project. I will add two breaking tags to data visualization. I will add a breaking tag to open source community. I will then add a breaking tag to guitar help room and I'll add another breaking tag to videos. I will add a breaking tag to city meetups. I'll do the same for forums and I will add two breaking tags for additional courses and text area. Moving on, I will add some styles to this input element. I will give it a margin top and bottom of 5 pixels. And I'll do the same for the email and the age input. After that, I will give my H4 heading element a font size of 25 pixels. Give this one 2, font size of 25 pixels. And I'll also give this one a font size of 25 pixels. When I save my code, when I go straight to my browser, you can see the changes that I've made. So let me work on this and make the button fall below the text area. So instead of me giving this button two breaking tags, so when I save my code and go straight to my browser, you can now see the changes that I've made so far. My email, my age. Would you recommend SkyScaleUp to your friend? I'll check yes. Then what would you like to see improve? I'll check front-end projects and additional courses. Then any comments or suggestion. Then as for comments, I'm going to type So in the comment section, I typed SkyScaleUp is an online learning platform to learn any tech courses at a lower rate. So as of now, this submit button is not functional as we're only dealing with HTML. This is the end of our HTML course. Do well to do your projects correctly. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next course.